Sorry for being late then. Apologies.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll kick off with the live section and then we'll go into 10:30 tonight. If we're already in the room, we'll kick off with Alex from the BBC. Just here.
Hi, Mikel.
Hello.
It was announced this morning that Williams Slaiba signed a new long-term contract at the club. Just how big is that news?
Yes, big news. Very happy. Congratulations to Willie. Fully deserves this new contract. His contribution to the club, to the team, has been phenomenal the last few years, and very happy to keep the spine of the team with us.
They say the spine of the team. There's quite a few players in the squad now who have committed their futures to the club for the long term. Does that say that most of the players in the squad believe they can win what they want here at Arsenal?
Yes, first of all, that they feel that they belong to this club, and they feel very attached to it, and they share the same ambition with the club. And obviously, they feel valued, they feel loved here, and they want to continue their careers here, which is great.
It's been a couple of days since the late win over Newcastle. Just what has that impact been like on the squad, and have you seen a difference in the players?
Well, great energy, obviously. The moment you go in the dressing room, everybody's celebrating, especially because the manner and the way it happened. But yeah, you have to move on immediately, and you know that we have a very tough match tomorrow against Olympiacos, and ready for it.
And heading into that match, is everyone fit and available?
Yes, no surprises. Hincapié and Anon is still out, so no news. The rest all good.
Martin Odegaard came off the bench, had a big impact against Newcastle. Is he fit to start now?
Yeah, it was very good. He came on, and immediately you could see the desire and the responsibility to get in the game to try to change it. His decision making, the way he approached every ball, and he made a difference to help us to win the game.
Ian talks for.
Hi, Mikel. How
Hi.
are you?
Good, thank you.
In terms of the Champions League, because you got to the semi-final last year, so close, is there a greater expectation and greater pressure on you this year in this competition?
Well, we have the same ambition, which is go game by game and try to be better than the opponent, which is very difficult in this competition, and win as many games as we can. And tomorrow we're going to have a really difficult one. We know how important the home form is going to be to reach in this phase where we want to arrive, and tomorrow we have the opportunity to start well.
Great news about Williams Slaiba, and this used to be a club whereby you felt that players would go into the last year of their contract and maybe managers or administrative staff weren't on top of it. Is that the one thing or one of the things you've changed for the better, and that you can say this is one thing that I really have been successful at?
Well, I don't know. What I know certainly is that at the end there are 2 or 3 parties that have to come together to an agreement, and with the 3 of them have the same intention and the same will, it's easier to get it done. And in these cases, it's been extremely positive. Obviously, Andrea, the team, and the support that we have from Stan and Josh especially makes this obviously possible and available, and we are extremely happy to continue this journey with them.
Finally, if I can have a bit of fun with you, I mean, Arsenal are flying high, so no surprise to see the RAF story this week. Firstly, when are they coming in? Are they coming in to see the RAF? I didn't have to dodge any planes to get in the car park. And secondly, how do you come up with these ideas? Because they're very out of the box. They're very left field. These ideas to improve your players with very different kind of ways of doing it.
Yeah, you're a bit late. That was 2 years ago. So the plane's already gone. I don't know where it is at the moment.
Okay, we'll go to Dharmesh from Sky.
Hey, Mikel.
Yeah.
Just on Williams Slaiba, it's going to be clear that some European football's top clubs will be interested in a player like that. Was there any part of you, with him entering the final 2 years of his deal, that was fearful he wouldn't sign?
Probably more than the length of the contract is the will of the player, you know, because then you can understand. I said some players, some that they have a dream. Some of them is being to play in the Premier League. Some of them is to play in the Premier League for Arsenal. Another one can be to play in a different country for a different club. So you have to respect that. I think we've been really, really lucky, but as well it shows the power of this football club and how much people loves it and wants to come here. That none of that is happening. Even they have the possibility to go somewhere else, they want to remain here.
He signed at Arsenal when he was very young, at 18 years old.
Yeah.
There were 3 loan spells early in his Arsenal career. Were you always convinced that Williams Slaiba was going to become the player that we see today?
Well, I think it's a great example is to get where you want. There is not a single pathway. It can happen in various ways, in various manners. Because when you talk about this pathway, you talk about loans. Within those loans, there were various reasons to those loans. There was a big injury as well that kept him for a long period of time away from football. Then when he was here, we had another serious injury. So it's a lot that has happened, a lot that Willie had to get through, and the club and myself with him as well, to get to the point where he is today. And that's the beauty of it, that sometimes things don't start the way you expect it, but sometimes it's the best thing that can happen to you to get where you want to get.
Just final one for me. Whenever I hear pundits and journalists talking about Arsenal, there's obviously a lot of noise outside the club. And one of the messages this season seems to be Arsenal have got no excuses. They've just got to go out there and do it. Are you aware of this noise? Do you pay attention to it? Or how do you block it out?
Well, I'm aware the moment I step in this chair that what I want with this football club is to win major trophies. That's it. Nobody else has to put that line into us. That's the ambition, the first day, and the excuses. Yeah, they never been part of my life.
Thank you.
James from CBS. Yeah.
Hi, Mikel. I'd just like to take back to your first European tie as an Arsenal manager, which I'm sure you remember was against Olympiacos and was quite dramatic. You have the last-minute goal against you, the last-minute goal that didn't come, and then quite dramatic days afterwards as well, and quite significant. In that time, are you thinking, what on earth have I let myself in for here?
No, no, but that's the beauty of football as well. I think I perfectly remember when we scored the goal, then when we conceded the equalizer, the last chance that we have in the last second of the game as well to go through it. What happened after that as well, when COVID and everything hit. So yeah, part of the journey as well to get to where you is a good example, like Willie, to get where you want to get. Sometimes you have to go through moments that probably you didn't expect to go through.
How did that strange sort of first year in the job change or help you develop as a manager?
Well, it was a lot, obviously, to swallow, coming into a massive club in the middle of the season when you never coach a team. That's already a big challenge. On top of that, everything that was happening at the football club, on top of that, COVID hits, you're not able to be in contact with your players or the club, and that drags for almost 2 years. Yeah, it's a lot, but it was an experience that I learned a lot from it, and I think it made all of us better.
Simon Standard.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
I know the atmosphere is a big thing for you. And one of the things we've noticed this season, obviously the tunnel has changed. There's no cover over it. I just wonder, is that something you were involved in? What was that change about, and how do you think it can impact the atmosphere?
No, obviously also as a club we have always the ambition to generate the best atmosphere in the world at the Emirates. And we have the best supporters in the world, and now we have to facilitate everything. And the team has to give the right feelings to our supporters every time we play in front of them. We need to habilitate as well the stadium in the manner that we want, and we need to ignite that will that we have to play every single ball with us, because it makes such a difference. I want to play and win the things that we want to win. That's a non-negotiable. You need to have a stadium that is able to create those moments for sure.
The other one I wanted to ask you was about Max, who, if he plays in any of these games before his birthday, can make history in the Champions League. Obviously, we all are talking about him a lot in these few months, but for you as managers, when were you first aware of the talent you had, and what work has gone into the point where we are now, where he could be making history?
Well, the first conversation probably was with Per, when we were talking about the talent and what he could see and feel that I could reach out the level that we needed. Straight away his name came up, and then we started to look at him, and the way he's developed himself and the steps that he's taking and the speed he's taking them, it's probably unheard of. And he's fully with us, he's part of us, he trained with us, and he's got the same chances as anybody else.
Can you remember what year that conversation with was?
I would say a year and a half, 2 years ago.
James Athletic.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you about Victor Gyökeres. He was involved in a really physical game at the weekend with Newcastle. I just wondered, what was your assessment of how he stood up to that challenge, and where do you think what does that say about where he is in his adaptation?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it how he took it. He went on board. Not a single moment when he's showing frustration. I told him, you're going to get some decisions, some others not. Stand up. You're going to have 2 or 3 players around you many moments. The ball is in the air and a lot is going to happen. But I like his reaction. I loved the way he handled the situation emotionally, and as well because he was involved in a lot of dangerous moments that he created. He was very much involved in them. And yeah, it's a pity that he didn't score a goal at the end, because in my opinion he fully deserved it.
There's quite a big sort of burden on him at the moment with no Kai. He's kind of the 9 on his own, a lot of expectation. How do you think he's handling that?
In a really natural and organic way, I would say. He's a really confident boy. His work ethic is incredible. The demands that he puts in himself every single day. It's a joy to work with him. He gives so much to the team, and the ceiling is very, very far what he can still give to the team. So very happy with him.
Harry, BBC Radio.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
One of the things that people are most excited about is the volume of options that you have in the squad. On the weekend, we saw Eberici as playing a more central position, sort of close to the forward. What would you say he brings to the role that's maybe a little bit different to what Martin Odegaard does?
Yeah, I think he's got this different quality, that he does things that, in the book, they are unexpected. When you think he's going to turn right, he goes left. When he thinks that he's going to take another touch, he releases the ball. It's his vision. It's a player that can create those magic moments, and at some point he can steal the pot in a way that not many players can do. We are lucky that we have a few of those, but the more we put in central positions in those conditions, especially when he has threat around him, we play in his strengths.
How would you say he's adapted to life at Arsenal? He's not been here that long, but it feels like he's at home already.
Very good. Well, personally, obviously, it's a very special character, someone really easy to get on with, super intelligent. I've been very impressed how quickly he picks things, the question he asks, and how smart he is just to navigate through a different environment. And then, yeah, the chemistry is generating with his teammates, the way he's impacting games. I think for the short period he's been with us, I think really positive.
Okay, last one in the live section. First one here.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Olympiacos has had quite a positive record at the Emirates. How do you not let this affect your mentality, and how do you learn from your previous encounters with it?
Yeah, well, because they are a really good side, and they have a really, really good manager, which I know since I was 13, because he was my coach at that period, and I know how he works. I know how efficient he is in what he does. That's what I'm saying, that tomorrow is going to be a really tough match.
Okay, and finally live, David from.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Saliba is part of a defense with Gabriel, Timber, and Kofi already, the one you have used the most this season. What do you see in this defense, and what do you think is making it so good?
Well, one is chemistry. I think there is something about, especially when we talk about centre backs or units, that it has to exist, that it has to be a will, a feeling to play for each other, and basically to hide each other's weaknesses and promote each other's strengths. And that's an ability that they have between them, and they have developed. They like to play with each other. They love each other, and that's a massive thing when you're asking your backline to produce what they are producing at the moment.
Okay, that finishes the live. We'll go into 10:30 tonight. Kick off with this one from the back.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
With Saliba, it was mentioned before about how initially he went to the 3 loan spells and then came through that. He's now obviously one of your main players. If you look across the first team in the last couple of seasons, there's not really been that route where you've sent players out on loan who are young and then they've come back and then risen to the first team. Why has that particular route really not been utilised much at all since William, would you say?
Well, we very rarely have recruited 18 years old in that position at that price.
Across the, not just centre back, I mean across the...
Well, that signing was done before I arrived as well, and I didn't really know the expectation that we had in relation to that. But in that moment, my opinion was that the room that he had in the squad, the environment that he had in the squad, and I would say the capacity that he has to impact the team with what we needed, it wasn't ideal. And we decided to loan him and to give him the exposure that he needs, to let him mature as well in a different league with a different coach, and then he was ready for it.
You often talk about the atmosphere at the Emirates and how good it is and how you want to keep improving it every season. Do you look at places like Newcastle, for example, where at St James's Park crazy atmosphere, arguably maybe has an impact on certain things at times. Do you kind of look at that and think this is the reason why you want to bolster the atmosphere at the Emirates?
For sure, we can learn and take things from many clubs, and in Europe there are some great examples as well. One thing is the things that we can do externally to that. We cannot compare ourselves to a city as well that has got one club, which it brings everything together much easier. In London, unfortunately, we have so many, and it's a very different context. But as well, I think there is a history between that crowd and that team. And the moment that you start to go through nights like we went last year, that creates that bond and that will to experience and be willing to experience those nights again. And I think we have started to create that story, and hopefully tomorrow we create another one.
Charlie from the side, please.
In terms of, you mentioned William wanting to sort of commit, and it is really important for him to stay. How important is it for you to have a really happy camp, to have lots of players who committed themselves to the club, which they have, signed lots of new players as well? Because it's not always like that at some clubs, is it? How important is it for you for everyone to really want to be here?
Well, that's a great question. That's exactly what we need as a club. Obviously, me as a manager and everybody that works with them, that they feel that they have that sense of belonging, that they can continue the journey here, that they feel that they are in the right place, not only in the club as well, in the city, the way we look after them, their families, and that they feel that they can be pushed here to do and to achieve what we want to achieve. And when people feel and express that by words and then especially by acts, like committing with the club for many years, that's the better sign that we can get.
Ed?
Yeah, just on Saliba, he said on the website, and he was quoted saying, I'm happy now but not 100% happy because we have to do more, we want to win titles because it's what we want. So do you like to hear that from your players, saying that the job's not done yet?
Yes, well, and that's that was the conversation that we're having with everybody that wants to continue here, that we want to continue here to finalize and to start to achieve the things that we want, and that's the aim.
And do you sense after the weekend, obviously you had a bad record at Newcastle, you had an amazing win, do you sense there's that sort of growing belief now among the players that this could be the season?
Well, that creates momentum and energy, and at the end we go what we deserve it. But it was done in a special manner that now we need to use that momentum and energy to go tomorrow and play with the same quality, with the same intensity and effectiveness to beat Olympiacos.
Okay, last couple. Ryan from the middle.
Hi, Mikel. Last week you said that Noni was potentially going to have another scan. Are you any clearer on how long he'll be sidelined for?
No, he hasn't had a scan yet, so he needs to wait a little bit more. He's still with a brace and everything, so he's still in a stage that everything is super protective. And once he comes out of that and has the scan, we'll have more clarity about it.
And just on Ethan, there were suggestions that he travelled to Newcastle but wasn't included in the matchday squad due to just selection. Obviously, you've got a big squad now.
No.
Is that true? And if so, did you have to speak to him and give him a little bit of a talking to? Because obviously there's increased competition this season, but he's a young player with potential.
So yeah, I talked to all the players and we had a meeting specifically about that and the scenarios that we were going to have throughout the season. And some of them they're going to start, some of them they're going to finish the game, some of them they're going to be on the bench and don't be participated, and some of them unfortunately are going to be out of the squad because with the Premier League you have the limitation with the numbers, and sometimes we have to travel more players because things can happen, somebody can get ill, or we have a doubt with somebody whether the next morning is going to be available to play, and unfortunately we have to do that. But I mean, the attitude of every player, because we have explained them and personally they know how we feel about it, it's been really good, and they will have the chances to play.
Okay, finally over to Gareth.
Can you remember some of his early conversations with William? Because perhaps when he arrived, he was a little bit more immature as a young player, and there were things away maybe in his other parts of his life. Can you remember some of those conversations? Because you were obviously also a young coach, having that conversation. Can you remember those conversations?
Yeah, not exactly. I know the tone and the difficulty of them, because at the end you're telling a player that, in your opinion, the best thing is to go on low and have minutes and exposure, which at the same time means that, yeah, here probably is not the right place for you right now. And very difficult for probably a player at that age that has signed for us and has big expectation to swallow that. But he did it with incredible maturity and being really patient, without judging too much our decision, and basically proving everybody wrong, or the fact that he was very good and he can actually do it, and that he deserves a place at the club.
Okay, guys, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming, we'll kick off with Alex and then we'll go to Dharmesh.
William, congratulations on your new contract. How pleased are you to have it officially signed and announced?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I'm so happy to sign the new deal with my club. So yeah, I have to keep going and keep going like this to help the team to win some trophies.
We spoke to Mikel. There's lots of players like yourself that signed long-term contracts now. What does that say about the group? You're all ready to win trophies together?
Yeah, of course. I think it's the only thing that we miss here is the win trophies, and we all believe in the project and in the future. We have a good squad, good staff, good coach. So yeah, we are close to achieve things. So we have to keep going like that, and I'm sure soon we will be able to win some trophies.
You had a really dramatic win at the weekend. Does winning games like that make you feel like this could be the season you could lift the trophy? Does that build momentum?
Yeah, I think because the first half the team played so well, I think we deserve to score at least 2 or 3 goals, but we didn't, and they scored one corner at the end of the first half, but we didn't give up, and we keep pushing until the end, and at the end we score one good corner from Gabriel, and of course we have to take this win because it's never easy to go at Newcastle and win there, so we are happy.
Hey, now you signed the contract. When you look back, lots of European clubs, the biggest ones, will have been interested in signing you. That's a 2-part question. Were you ever tempted, and was there ever any doubt in your mind that this was going to be what you wanted to do?
To be honest, I was not really focused about the club from outside. I was just focused on here. I knew that I wanted to stay here for more years, so I was not really focused on the other clubs. So I'm happy to be here, and I signed a new deal. So yeah, full focus on my club.
Can you take us back to when you joined? Because at the start you were a young man, but you were on loan at 3 different clubs. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that is it going to work out for me at Arsenal, or were you fearful maybe that it wouldn't?
Yeah, of course. When I arrived in 2020, and I didn't play for 6 months, then I went on loan. Of course, sometimes you have some doubt to say, yeah, maybe I will never play for this club. But at the end, I told myself that I cannot leave this club without playing, and I didn't give up. I went on loan, I played games. I came back here and I start almost every game. So yeah, I'm so proud of me. That means that you must never give up, and that's what I did, and I'm proud of myself.
Just finally, you said you never gave up. Who helped you, and what role did Mikel Arteta play in that?
Yeah, of course he helped me. Like I wasn't playing here, so him on the club sent me on loan to improve, because when you are a young player you need to play. If you're on the bench you cannot improve. So I went on loan, and it was good for me. And when I came back, like 1 year and a half after, I was ready to play, and now I'm a starter. So of course I'm proud, and I signed a new deal, so I'm even more proud.
How difficult is it for a young player to say, right, I want to play for a big club like Arsenal, but if I keep being sent on loan, I've got to play well there to convince Arsenal to play me? It must be quite hard mentally.
Yeah, of course. As I said, sometimes you have some doubt. You say, yeah, if the club send you on loan a lot, maybe they don't need you, but at the end, it's football. Sometimes you have a good moment, sometimes you have a bad moment like this, and you have to be strong in your head and always believe in yourself. and it's what I did. And even in a bad moment, I keep believing in myself. And when I came back, I had some chances to play, and I play well. So, yeah.
We spoke to you last year during the Champions League campaign, you may remember. You had some fairly high aspirations, fairly high goals. You obviously believe you can achieve all of those here.
Yeah, of course. As I said, we have the staff, the coach, and the really good squad this season to compete in any competition. And we don't want just to be there and enjoy the Champions League. We want to win the Champions League and win any titles.
Finally, you've seen a video where you say you feel like a Londoner now, more than boy who grew up in Paris. But there's certain things you miss about Paris. Apparently, some of our food isn't the best. You don't like our pastry. You don't like our bread. I mean,
Yeah.
have you never been to the reduced section at Tesco?
No. No, as I said, yeah, of course I prefer the food from Paris. But yeah, I like the food as well here. But it's not the best, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, come on, what's wrong with roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, eh?
I never test, to be honest. But sometimes there is some food that you see and you don't want to to eat. But yeah, slowly, step by step.
Come over one night.
Yeah, okay, I will.
I'd love to ask you about Thierry Henry a little bit. I know that he was the first shirt you ever had. As a sort of youngster growing up in France in the early 2000s, could you reflect on what Thierry meant and if there's any great memories you have of him wearing an Arsenal shirt?
Yeah, of course, it was my first shirt of Barcelona on him. It was on my back. So yeah, for me, it was like a class player to watch. Obviously, he's French, so when you are a French player and you play in a big game, a big club like Arsenal, so I was following the team on him. And yeah, I remember some clips. I was a bit young, so I don't have a lot of memories, but I have this final against Barcelona when they almost win the Champions League. But yeah, I watched some clips on YouTube, the skills and everything. And yeah.
Do you think you'd be an Arsenal player if it wasn't for Thierry Henry?
I don't know, but we never know. We don't know because he was an Arsenal player. So of course, because he was French, so it helped me to support this team. But yeah, we never know.
Have you sort of spoken to him? Because I know he does really like to keep in touch. So
Yeah, I spoke with him like a couple of times, like when he was a journalist in France. After some games, I saw him when I was on loan. So yeah, I spoke with him a bit. Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned you were only ever focused on staying at Arsenal, but often the draw of like Real Madrid, we've seen like Trent Alexander-Arnold won the title with Liverpool, but he was drawn to Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham as well. Why were you never? What makes Arsenal so special that for you weren't interested in going to another club?
Yeah, as you said, he won some titles with Liverpool. Me, I didn't win anything here except what's the cup we won? Community Shield. Only Community Shield. So yeah, I've done nothing for this club to think about leaving. So yeah, I want to stay here and win a lot of trophies.
But you can understand why a lot of fans would love to hear that.
Yeah.
And you're being honest.
Yeah, no, of course.
Because it's not always like some players.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, yeah, me, I love this club. I cannot leave this club without give them something back. I won nothing, so yeah, my first choice was to stay here and win everything first.
You're pretty close to winning a trophy, aren't you? But what do you think is missing at the moment, just to get you over the line?
Yeah, of course we are always close, but yeah, if we don't win, it's because we miss something. And like every year we're getting better. And this year we had a lot of experiences from the last 3 seasons. We know that we're always close. So now we know how the Premier League is. We know how the Champions League is. So we have to stop talking and prove on the pitch that we have to win. Like of course it's good to talk, but now we have to prove it on the pitch that we are ready to win. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, of course. I've been there for 3 years. Every time at the end of the season you finish second, so yeah, you're a bit angry. So you want to go on holidays, celebrate with your friends the trophies that you won with your club. So of course, yeah, when you finish second and you go in holidays, it's not so good.
With the three loan spells at the start, you're obviously a very young guy, and you're still young now, but with that period, what were the conversations like with Mikel Arteta? Because obviously it wasn't still a very formative period and you hadn't played for Arsenal at that point. So.
Yeah, he was straight to me. The first weeks he told me that for him I was not ready to play. He told me this, and I was training and I was playing with the 21. And at the end of December, he told me that it was better for me to go on loan, better than stay here and to not playing. So yeah, I was agree because I needed to play. So he sent me on loan, and yeah, I was in touch with the Edu as well when he was here. He was talking with my agent to say, yeah, like after the first loan, he said we need one more loan. So I went back as well, and like the first month of my last loan, they told me, yeah, we need you back at the end of this loan. So yeah, I was in touch with the coach and Edu. So yeah.
What did that spell teach you?
Yeah, like I signed here for almost 30 million, so I was expected to play. And you arrive here, you don't play, so I was a bit angry, but it's football. Sometimes you expect something and it doesn't come, so you have to fight. And I didn't give up, and now I'm here in front of you playing for Arsenal, so yeah, I'm happy.
William, just when we talk about Henry, he's remembered not only his performances but because of the trophies that he won. And is that for you part of the reason that if you want to be remembered in 20, 25 years, you need to win trophies here?
Yeah, of course. As I said, it's the only thing that we miss here, because we have a good team, we play well, we are good. We only miss trophies, and I think the team and I will give everything to win these titles, because yeah, of course, the people, they won't remember at you if you win nothing. So at the end, it's trophies, trophies, and trophies.
And just fitness-wise, obviously, I know you couldn't start on Sunday. How is the ankle? Are you now fully fit? Are you still trying to manage it?
Yeah, he's better now. I was feeling a bit before City and even after, but now, yeah, feeling better. I hope I will not have pain anymore.
We'll do the last couple now. James first.
Hi, William. I just wanted to ask you about your celebrations. You're a very cool, calm guy on the pitch, but when the ball goes in the net, it's like you've become a bit of a different person. Can you explain what those moments are like for you?
Yeah, just normal for me, because yes, it's hard to win games in Premier League. So when like there is one draw and we are pushing for a win and you score at the end, like yeah, I become crazy a bit. But yeah, it's football. It's hard to win games, especially in Premier League. So when you win, especially at the end like this, you are so happy.
I remember when you were with Saint-Etienne, those great images of you like in the crowd with the megaphone and with the flags. Is that really important to you as a footballer, that connection you feel with the fans?
Yeah, of course, because without them we are nothing. So it's good to have a good connection with them always, and yeah.
We'll do the final one in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations on signing a new contract, William. I just wanted to ask, how do you see your role evolving as a player and a leader in this Arsenal squad?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think now I play 3 years in the row with Arsenal. Now I'm 24, so I have a bit of experience now. So I think now I'm not so young, so I have to be one of the leaders of this team, and I have to be an example as well. So yeah, I think my role changed a bit.
Do you see yourself becoming an Arsenal legend, and what do you need to do to make that a reality?
Win titles, and be good on the pitch. And hopefully, if God wants, I will become a legend here.
Cool. We'll end it there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Nice.